Thus, in search of markets, raw material, and field for capital investment, the capitalist countries began to divide and redivide the world among themselves. Colonialism at this stage also served important political and ideological purpose in the metropolitan that is imperialist countries chauvinism or aggressive nationalism based on glorification of empire could be used to tone down social divisions at homes by stressing the common interest in empire. The British, for example, raised the slogan that the sun never sets on British Empire to spread pride and sense of contentment among workers on whose slum houses the sun seldom shone in real life. The French talk of their civilizing mission, while Japan talk of Pan-Asianism and claimed to be the champion of the Asian people. During this stage, Britain's position in the world was constantly challenged and weakened by the rival capitalist countries. It now made vigorous efforts to consolidate its control over India. Reactionary imperialist policies now replaced liberal imperialist policies. This was reflected in the bestialities of Lytton, Dufferin, Lansdowne, and Curzon. The strengthening of colonial rule over India was essential to keep out the rivals, to attract British capitals to India, and to provide its security. After 1850, a large amount of British capitals were invested in Indian railways, loans to the government of India, trade, and to a lesser extent in plantation, coal mining, jute mills, shipping, and banking in India. India also performs another important role for Britain. Its army, men, and financial resources could be used to fight Britain's rivals in the struggle for the division and redivision of the world. In fact, the Indian army was chief instrument for the defense, expansion, and consolidation of British Empire in Africa and Asia. The result was costly standing army that absorbed nearly 52% of Indian revenues in 1904. Politically and administratively, the third stage of colonialism meant renewed and more intensive control over India. Moreover, it was now even more important than ever before that the colonial administration should reach out to every nook and corner of India. The administration now became more bureaucratically tight, efficient, and extensive than earlier. Railways were built at even a faster rate. A major change now occurred in the ideology of colonialism. All talk of training the Indian people for self-government died out. It was revived in 20th century after 1918 as a result of pressure from the Indian national movement. It see the end of British rule was declared to be permanent trusteeship over the Indian people. Indian people were declared to be permanently immature, a child people needing British control and trusteeship. Geography, race, climate, history, religion, culture, and social organization was cited as factors which made Indian permanently unfit for self-government or democracy. Britain had therefore to exercise benevolent despotism over them for centuries to come. Efforts at transformation of India continued during this stage, though once again their meager results. This was partly because of financial constraints discussed earlier and also because of the rise of national movement. Even the limited changes produced an intelligentsia which began to oppose colonialism and analyze mechanism of colonial exploitation. The British administration increasingly assumed a neutral stand on social and cultural questions and then began to support social and cultural reactionaries in the name of preserving indigenous institutions. Check your progress 3. discussed in about 100 words the basic forms of surplus extraction or exploitation during the second and third stages of colonialism in India. Question number 2. Which of the following statements are correct or wrong? 1. During free trade phase of colonialism in India, import duties were increased. 2. The railways contributed in the extension of markets. The new 3. The new challenges to British industrial supremacy, its colonial policy underwent a change. 4. The British claimed that sun never sets on British Empire. Question number 3. Discuss in about 10 lines the effort made by British to consolidate their position in India in the latter half of the 19th century. Let us sum up. Under colonialism, Indian economy and society were completely subordinated to British economy. The result was that during the last years after 1760, when Britain was developing into a leading capitalist country of the world, India was becoming underdeveloped and turned into a basic backward colony. Keywords: capitalism, an economic and political system in which property, business and industry are privately owned and where competition is mainstay of the economy. Intelligentsia, that section of society whose social role is to generate and spread ideas. They can be teachers, lawyers, men of politics, arts and letters. Landed gentry, people of high birth and high social status, were owners of considerable portion of land. Example: Jamindars, Talukdars. Metropolis, a technical term referring to a capitalist country possessing colonies. Mercantilist theory, a political and economic philosophy according to which the main aim of nation state was to maximize export, minimize import and accumulate as much bullion, that is gold and silver, as possible.